So basically, like what Doug said, a recodification is just a cleanup of ordinances. The last time that we had a codification done was in 1978, and before that it was the 1940s. We attempted to recodify in 1993, but it wasn't ever passed. And the biggest thing with the recodification is it's just a cleanup. So, for example, parking. Parking is something that we've had an issue with. Most towns that are healthy do have an issue with parking. Well, we've passed multiple ordinances regarding parking since 1978, and the ones that are actually in the code may not be completely up to date, though we do have separate papers that have been passed by council and are in full force. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the new parking code that we have and put it in a new code with all the other ordinances that may or may not have been updated since then, so that we have one version to point to, which will make our lives a lot easier so we don't have to dig around for pieces of paper that have been passed by council. So that's been my job over the summer. I've been tracking down all those new changes and updates to the code. And these are just a few of the things that I found that either need to be addressed, will be addressed by Unicode, or that I have already addressed in finding my the most up-to-date versions of each section of the code. So that's just to kind of give you an idea of the things that you're going to come into contact with in the next few months. There's a charter change, which is probably the most important on here. We have adopted a new form of government. From the last codification, we moved from a mayor council to a council manager system, which requires a different text in a charter, which we've adopted it appropriately through amendment. We just need to do a few simple housekeeping updates to get it in line. And I want to show you what it's going to look like when we're going to have an online version once we get done with this. It's going to be awesome. So this is Unicode, and this is an example that I have from Rutherford County. They have theirs online and in print with Unicode. And you can actually, you notice there's a search bar. It's searchable, so if you want to see an ordinance about animals, or if you want to see an ordinance about if there's something about trash pickup or parking, you have a question, you can just put it in that search bar, and it will bring it up for you on this page, which has been pretty awesome. It's also searchable on the side. You see they have their charter, as well as different chapters regarding different items. This is an example of how Unicode shows your changes. So everything you notice in yellow is something that has been added, and everything that you notice in red is something that's been deleted. So this was the former text here, and this is the new text. So people can actually keep track of how your code changes over time, which could be important to know. And you can actually sign up and email an update if you're particularly interested in an ordinance, and they will email you when that ordinance is updated. So it's a pretty cool thing. And basically what we have to do from now on is just a cleanup. Just getting the pieces together so that we have one nice, sharp version. That's what I have to present.
Wonderful, thank you.